Kanye West says George Floyd passed away because of the fentanyl and that the cop's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. Like, it really sucks because it's like Kanye West, being such a prominent figure, is parroting all of the far-right messaging right now to, I'm sure, an entirely new audience who are coming at this like, what is going on?
We're not gonna be owned by the Jewish media anymore. If you think about every celebrity,
Kanye,
if you look at their contract, and I'm gonna finish what I'm saying.
I know, but you have to understand this idea of the Jewish media. That's not how it works. You're talking to me right now.
So every celebrity,
go ahead.
Every celebrity has Jewish people in their contract. This is not hate speech. This is the truth. We're not gonna be owned by the Jewish media anymore. If you think about every...
So, it's gotten pretty extreme at this point. It's, yeah, it's basically massive anti-Semitic conspiracy theories being told by one of the most famous living musicians on the planet. So that's wild to see. It was also pretty wild to see this. Elon Musk deletes the Three Musketeers meme pitching inevitable social media alliance with Trump and Kanye. Tesla CEO Elon Musk memed it up again on Twitter by proposing a social media alliance with Donald Trump and Kanye West, which he later deleted. Trump and West have been the center of media firestorms over the past week with their various anti-Semitic comments. The rapper is currently in the process of filing Parler, having been kicked off of Twitter and Instagram after an ongoing streak of statements and threats against the Jewish people. So far, Trump has chosen to ignore West's ugly comments despite Ye's attack on Jared Kushner, and the ex-president generated his own outrage by complaining on Not Twitter, True Social account, that he doesn't get enough support from the American Jews. This was accompanied by an ominous statement: U.S. Jews have to get their act together and appreciate why they have in Israel before it's too late. Appreciate what they have in Israel before it's too late. As the saga, and by the way, this, if you're like, why is that anti-Semitic? Because like treating Jewish people as a monolith and saying that like, hey, by the way, you better vote for me or things are going to happen in Israel is just utterly absurd, right? Like Jewish people can oppose the government of Israel. A lot of Jewish people do. They can oppose the actions of Israel. It's not like just because you're Jewish, you have to be pro-Israel and also threaten to be like, we're not going to support your country anymore if you don't get in line and vote for me. It's like, yeah, wildly anti-Semitic. As the saga transpires, Musk decided to tweet a meme of himself, Trump, and West as Alexander Dumas, the Three Musketeers. The swords were held by three characters represented on True Social, Parler, and X, preservatively referring to Musk's SpaceX company, although I guess he will maybe have Twitter in there as well. In retrospect, it was inevitable, Musk captioned the image. The tweet was up for about an hour before he deleted it. Yeah. Good stuff. What Musk chose not to delete yet was a tweet of himself laughing in response to someone who invoked a scene from Harry Potter movies in response to him stirring up the controversy. Why is it when something happens, it's always you three? Lol. Musk latest memes of himself palling with Trump and Ye come a week after his first response with the rapper's anti-Semitic remarks. Talked today with Ye and Ye and expressed my concerns about his recent tweet, which I took to heart, Musk said days ago. Welcome back to Twitter, my friend. West kept on making anti-Semitic comments since then. The deletion of Musk's Three Musketeers meme comes a day after another picture he posted, then deleted, pitching a social media partnership with West. The Dragon Ball Z-inspired image Musk posted on Monday depicted himself as the owner of Twitter and West as the owner of Parler. The two characters were performing a technique from Oh, I really hope your editor made you look this up and type up. What exactly does it mean when they're doing the thing? What's going on here? Awesome. Performing a technique from the anime in which two characters temporarily merge together to form a single, more powerful fused being. Amazing. I can't believe this is printed. Fun times ahead, Musk declared before deleting the meme. Over 9,000! Incredible. Incredible. Weird time to be joining up in like a dual team, though. I gotta say that much. Like, didn't he also have like an unbelievably anti-Semitic speech in this one? Yeah, Kanye West says George Floyd passed away because of the fentanyl and that the cop's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. Like, it really sucks because it's like Kanye West, being such a prominent figure, is parroting all of the far-right messaging right now to, and I'm sure, an entirely new audience who are coming at this like, what is going on? You see the interview where he drink trams before they took it down. It was unreal. Never have instance such high-profile picture using such intense, repetitive anti-Semitic rhetoric. Like, I saw the highlights from that are on Twitter, and I was like, this is unreal. He was giving such a profoundly anti-Semitic speech involving all of the same kind of conspiracies, that they control all of the media, which is simply just not true. Like, there are Jewish CEOs who control elements of the film industry, and a lot of the history of Jewish people in the film industry were because they were not allowed to work in a lot of other industries, because yes, they were persecuted in America as well, and so yes, they started to dominate elements of the film industry. But to state that they control the media and the press is just demonstrably false. Like, you can look at who the owners are, who the CEOs are of the majority of American media companies and outlets, and I'm sorry, it's not the Jews. So that it's just 100% an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. It's like they are simultaneously fucking denigrated for being all-powerful and also incredibly weak, but also all-powerful, but also incredibly weak. Like, just fucking fascism 101. He says that the blacks are Jewish because they are part of the 12 tribes. No, I know. I know the entire, not the Hotep stuff, but it's like it's right from the playbook from like Louis Farrakhan and a lot of other anti-Semitic figures who say some horrifying anti-Semitic statements and justify it, saying that, well, I'm not actually being anti-Semitic. I happen to think that I myself am Jewish. And the fucked up thing about all this is that there is Jewish black people. That's 100% a true thing. But it's this weird quasi-religious version of history mixed in with like deep anti-Semitic conspiracy shit. Yeah, he plays a message from Farrakhan. Well, there you go. Yeah, the Hebrew Israelites. Yes, thank you.
Stuff that no one had ever thought before, which is true. I had not even considered that. Like, Kanye West is on the phone with Farrakhan while he's simultaneously talking about George Floyd being like
He was on the phone with Farrakhan. What is going on?
You know, a false execution and, a lie, like the Black Lives Matter movement being a lie. And it is actually unironically very interesting to consider, because like the entire purpose of like Black Israelite movements and things like that is that like it kind of revolves around Black supremacy. Like, it is supposed to revolve around Black supremacy, at least. Whether it has any sort of like genuine structural power or not is meaningless. Obviously it doesn't, but at its core, the idea is about shielding the truth about history, about chattel slavery and whatnot, and to say at its roots that like Black people actually have been lied to about their history, that Black people were the ones who were dominating, right? And this interview got me to...
You know what's wild about all that is that overlaps with like a lot of conspiracy theories you'll see in a variety of ways, where the conspiracy theory serves a purpose to give you more control and power, and to think that things aren't as helpless sometimes as they might seem. Like, if you look at the 9/11 truth or conspiracies that came out right after the attack, so many of them are based around, and a lot of them are based on anti-Semitism as well, just because it seems to be a very popular thing all the time. But a lot of them are based around the idea of, hey, it's really fucked up that someone could have done what they did, and so that didn't happen the way it is supposed to have happened. All the stories you've heard, they're all lies, okay? How did Tower 7 fall? Can we ever prove that? It's like, well, engineers actually have. It makes a lot of sense that the structural capabilities of the framing of a building, even that has steel beams, is going to be greatly damaged and reduced to a point of like collapsing in on of itself if it is prolonged burning and in flames for long periods of time. Yes, that actually can happen. That is how a structure can fall, and we've seen that. But the idea of it is just so like it broke people's brains. It broke so many people's brains, like, just because the images themselves were so shocking. Like, I remember being around in that time, and how many people, especially in the West, because America and American dominance of the planet had been so secure for so long, and America was doing so much fucked up shit in the world, like, and it didn't care. Like, America's like, we do what the fuck we want. It's fucking America, baby. We're at our fucking zenith right now. This is the fucking 2001. And at that moment, seeing towers get smashed and blown up, and thousands of people lose their lives, and America get attacked on its own soil. That's the other thing. Being attacked in America broke people's brains. And so they were unable to process it. So many of them went down a whole bunch of different pathways. Well, I don't know about you, but did you see how the price of gold went up? I mean, that probably means that this was the Jews. And you're like, no, that's not, that's just anti-Semitism. That's just 100% disgusting anti-Semitism that you're spouting right there. Or other people went along the lines of like, oh, this was an inside job because I hate George Bush. So clearly the Bush administration planned the whole thing. They planted bombs. This was a controlled demolition. And it's like, George Bush and the Bush Doctrine and the neocons and all the savagery that they enacted upon the world, including killing countless amounts of Iraqi children, like that didn't need them to create a false flag event. That all they had to do is take advantage of a terrorist act. And why don't we put, like, the real story of 9/11 should please the conspiracy theory amongst you. Because at its core, if we think about the fact that Saudi Arabia, because a lot of these were Saudi nationals, if they were capable of plotting and coordinating a plan with Osama bin Laden as well as other people in order to do and enact these like horrifying, savagery upon citizens, if they're capable of pulling that whole thing off, and the United States then utilized the entire thing as a precursor to invade foreign countries of which we're not responsible for 9/11. Like, Afghanistan never did 9/11. Neither did Iraq. That's the fucked up thing. They weren't responsible for it. And everyone at that time was just like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's fucking get in there, baby. Osama bin Laden somewhere in Afghanistan. We're gonna fucking bomb you to the fucking Stone Age, motherfuckers. We're gonna get real racist with it too. You know, we're gonna call you San N-words. We're gonna get in there. Every single person who's a Muslim is a terrorist. Back at home, people who aren't even Muslim are gonna be treated like fucking criminals. We're gonna pass the Patriot Act. So now the United States has the ability without due process to just arrest people that it thinks are terrorists. Basically people who are brown, we can just take them off the streets and fucking arrest them. We're gonna get in there, we're leveling, oh yeah, we're bombing Afghanistan, hell yeah, hell yeah. Like, people were genuinely excited. Like, they were cheering that on. And you watch the footage and you're like, you're bombing poor people who had nothing to do with 9/11. They didn't do this to you. They didn't attack you. They don't have the resources to do this. They are so devastated and impoverished and ruled by a fucking draconian far-right extremist organization, the Taliban, that you helped create. Like, this is madness. All of it. Madness. It's like an absolute nightmare. I remember being like one of the 10 people who were like, do you not think it's kind of dumb? And I was like 14, so everyone said that I was dumb. Yeah, I was also one of those 1 in 10 at the time. Like, you know, I can say this. In Canada, at least, as the shift focused from Afghanistan to Iraq, that at least in Canada, I'm sure in the US it was very different. I was not living in America at the time. But at least at that moment, people started to question shit. There started to at least be some like, okay, this one doesn't make a lot of sense. Because, I mean, there's a lot of red flags here, okay? We got basically the son of the dad who did the original Iraq War. So you're trying to do Iraq War 2, fucking devastating boogaloo here. And this is not a great scene. It doesn't really appear that Saddam Hussein has directly threatened or was going to attack the United States. Also doesn't really appear that you have any hard evidence that he has weapons of mass destruction or that he intends to use weapons of mass destruction to end life on Earth. Like, you're kind of really selling this as, if we don't do something right now, if we don't invade a foreign country and bomb the ever-loving fuck out of them, killing thousands and thousands of children, if we don't do that, then he will blow up the Earth. That's what I'm trying to sell you on. And to sit back, like, even that, people were starting to be like, something doesn't add up. Yeah, I see Colin Powell with the yellow cake uranium at the UN, and I hear Condoleezza Rice say that this is an inevitability, and if we don't do this, that they are eventually going to nuke us all. And now I see all the new atheists, like Sam Harris and Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins, all parodying these points, being like, yes, Muslims want to kill every white person on the planet. If we don't stop them, they will kill every white person. I know I'm probably saying a lot of really bad takes right now that is going to look really bad in hindsight, but I genuinely believe that every single non-white Muslim wants to kill every white person, so we need to stop them. It's totally justified. Iraq's justified. Get in there. Go in there, America. Oof. Looks like America's doing a lot of torture. Ooh, a lot of torture. This one's bad. This one's really bad. Oh, there's thousands and thousands of dead children. Thousands of dead kids and a lot of torture. They're shipping them off to this place in Cuba. Why is that happening? Where they don't really fall under the purview of American law or something? I don't know. There's a lot of pictures coming out from it though, and it looks really, really bad. Looks like they're just straight torturing people. And they say that they're doing enhanced interrogation techniques. It's just like, well, we need to interrogate, okay? We need to make sure that these people might have valuable information. And they're like, waterboarding, don't worry, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's just, we're just pouring a little bit of water on their face. You have a little sprinkle water. Oh, you can't handle a little bit of that pool water. What's going on here? And then they're like, well, okay, first off, that is actual torture. It's basically, it feels like strangling someone underwater. Supposedly, I would never do it because, yeah, that sounds horrifying. In addition to that, you're doing other torture too. There's like, the photos are you covering feces on people, sexually assaulting people, electrocuting people, sleep depriving them. Like this is real torture in addition to actual real torture as well. It's just double torture. These are war crimes. Like the list is so vast and so long. Holy hell, how is George Bush allowed to be on Ellen as a friendly, cool guy? How is he allowed to go to baseball games? How is he not banned and barred from every public institution ever and in prison for war crimes? And so many, numerous, vast. And if we don't acknowledge them, then that means we can just keep doing them. That's the thing. If he's not held accountable, if Kissinger's not held accountable, if none of these fucking war criminals are ever held accountable, then we get to keep doing them. Because there's no consequence for your actions. Even as the president. If you use the president, order and enforce and fucking engage in war crimes, hell, you get to be on Ellen. You do a couple years, you make a shit ton of money. Oh, and now you're remembered as a painter. Yeah, see, it's cute. George Bush isn't as horrifying a war criminal as he seems because he does paintings. He paints paintings, and he's cute about it. You know, like Hitler. Yeah. So, how is Kissinger even still alive? Good question. I don't know. That was a fucking neocon stun lock, but yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna play this, but I just want to point out the fact ABC and NBC are supposed to be the liberal media. The liberal media and the corporate media, just so I hope everyone understands this and is on the exact same page, they are not in it for, wanting just libs to win. Like, for them, it's not just about liberal victories. It's not just about democratic victories, even though that's the way Fox News paints them. They're corporate media. For them, is what's going to do the very best for their shareholders. That's probably the bottom line and the easiest guiding compass for all executive decisions by corporations. Why are they doing what they're doing? It's like, weird. They're all into like LGBTQ plus stuff or their trans rights. Is this because of a mind virus? Is this because of a social contagion? It must be. This is the only way to understand what is going on. Why would they ever do this? Why is our military turning non-binary? The they-them army? What? Lesbians serving in the U.S. military? Oh, I never. My God, what are they going to do? They'll be just too attracted to the other women and they'll want to have sex with all the other women. No, it's beyond the pale. All of this is happening not because of some weird, shadowy, big trans lobby that is pushing for all this stuff, or the big queer lobby, or the big gay lobby, or any of it, or the big asexual lobby, or intersex lobby. Yes, no, they don't exist. I like, do you want to tell me how many CEOs of Fortune 500 companies are trans? Go ahead. Please list them out. List out all of the Fortune 500, the richest companies on the planet. How many of them are led by trans? How many have trans people on the boards? How many people have trans people as key or top investors in these lobbies? And don't get me wrong, I would love if there were some more powerful and some more rich trans people, but that's not the case. There is not a conspiracy theory from the top on down to make your kids gay or to make your kids trans. If you could convince people to be a certain sexuality based on the media they have, every single gay person would be straight by now. There would be no gay people, okay? They would not exist because all media is basically just straight sex is good, straight sexuality is good, this is the way it is, this is how it is, look at the boobas, look at this, look at that, no homo. Whew, yeah, it's definitely doesn't get, just because I have a shirtless picture of some soccer players and you might be getting a little confused right now, no homo, let's just keep it all straight, that, like, but that's not the case. Gay people still exist. They, in spite of the overwhelming indoctrination to be straight that they get. Instead, you can make people hate themselves or try and deny who they truly are, because that's all they get all day. This indoctrination. This is the right way to be. This is the proper way to be. You should be straight. And so there it is. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So it's not working in the opposite direction just because it feels as if other people are getting a few extra rights. It really sucks because it's like, the dominant group, in this case, straight people, cis people, I fall into that category, cis people, suddenly we're suddenly trying to be more accepting towards trans people. We're starting to say maybe we shouldn't oppress trans kids. We shouldn't oppress trans people who want to use a particular bathroom. We shouldn't do this. And because of that, and this is only very slightly, it's not a ton, but it's a very slight amount of rights being given to a group that has been subjugated by another group, me, cis people. All of a sudden, because of that, it feels as if cis people are losing something and being oppressed. And then that's how the populists get in charge. They can tell you right away, oh yeah, this is bad. They're coming after your kids, mutilating genitals and all this kind of, they're going into prisons to rape women. They're joining sports teams to rape women. Oh yeah, be really afraid, cis people. And of course, cis people losing very slight amounts of their power in status and privilege, all of a sudden get scared and it's like, whoa, no, but I was so comfortable with being at the top of the food chain. I love being able to oppress and dominate other groups, especially trans people. I don't like this feeling. I don't like feeling like I have slightly less dominant power. It's so slightly. It's so minuscule. It's like it's fucking crumbs. It's like it's less than crumbs. It's like, hey, can I use the bathroom I want to use the way you can use the bathroom you want to use? And it's like, no, this doesn't affect me. But no, you cannot. I refuse, even though it doesn't affect me in any way. I get to keep using the same bathrooms. I mean, maybe you could make the argument that having trans men in my man bathroom is taking something away from me because you're a weirdo who basically just goes to the bathroom to stare at other people while they use the bathroom. That's really what it is. I mean, ultimately, right? Like, do you go to the toilet to watch other people go to the toilet? Because I don't. I'm not in that crew, so it doesn't affect me if someone else wants to use the washroom. To be honest, it doesn't matter if it happens to be someone who's a completely different gender than me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going there to watch them. I'm not going there to stare at their fucking genitals and their body parts. I go there to use the bathroom, and then I leave the bathroom. That's the extent of my journey to and from the washroom. So I guess unless it deeply concerns you because you're deeply invested in watching other people poo, why do you care? Why does it matter? Like, I don't get it. Anyways, ABC is doing a ton of fucked up shit right now. They basically gave Herschel Walker a complete softball interview, and we can all, at this point, recognize that NBC is the ones that amplified the John Fetterman actually requires computers to communicate story. That was NBC. These are the liberal institutions, by the way. And like, don't feel confused. Don't be like, I feel betrayed by the libs. What is happening? No. They're corporations. They have bottom lines, and it's to make as much fiduciary profit to their shareholders, and they are hedging their bets and or getting their narratives and or pushing their narratives based on that. But they're not journalists in the truest of sense. Sometimes they do good work. But why is it, I'll be honest with you, why is it comedians right now who are actually putting in the hours when it comes to this shit? Why is it John Oliver and Jon Stewart who actually did the research on these topics, actually did their due diligence, found out the science of the matter, the overwhelming consensus of this, and then are not regurgitating the same tired, both sides bullshit like all of mainstream media? Like everything from CBC to BBC to NBC to ABC, you name it, everyone is doing this both sides bullshit where it's like, yeah, but we have to platform both the person who detransitioned, even though they happen to be less than 5%, and those who do detransition say the overwhelming amount of them detransition because of social stigma, but we have to platform them equally with the trans person who says that it actually helped save their life. They need equal time and equal measure to be able to tell their story. And then we did our due diligence. We were fair and balanced. TM, you know, at the very end. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tao, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojak, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.